Hi there folks, welcome back to my channel, and for this video I'm actually back in Kirkcaldy and I've parked up again in Ravenscraig Park, and I've not been here before. And again, I will link that previous video up kind of in the wee cards above somewhere. But I have heard that Ravenscraig Castle has reopened. So I'm going to head back down towards the castle and try and see about getting in. And from what I've read online, the drawbridge that you would usually go on over is not open just now, but yet there's a set of stairs that's going up from the moat, so I will have to try and see where these stairs are and get myself into the castle. So this is one that I'd always said I'd come back to once the castle had reopened and go for a wander, because this is the castle I've never been inside before. I may have wandered around the outside of it, but never actually been inside. So I'll be interested to see what the layout is, what's going on, what it's like, and of course bring you all with me. And again, it is an Historic Scotland site, so I will link in the relevant page on the Historic Scotland website. So if you can go and have a nosy there and see what's going on. And again, if you enjoy my channel, if you enjoy my videos, if you can click on the subscribe button, click on that notification bell, leave some likes, leave some comments, it's always really appreciated. And if you'd like to support the channel further, you can also follow me on TikTok and Blue Sky. And you can also click on the join button and become a channel member. So with that out of the road, I'm going to grab my things and head down to Ravenscraig Castle. Yeah, so I'm back down the way I did before and find my way to the castle. So there's signs showing you where to go, and it's just down this way. And again, it's quite nice just to be able to walk through the park, and part of the Firth Coastal Trail goes through the park as well. So that's, when you see these little signs here, it's a Firth Coastal Path. But we're not heading on that way just now. We're heading along this way. Yeah. So we've got the Firth of Forth down there. You can all hear the waves. So there is at least one beach down there. I do have a couple of glass jars in my bag. So you never know, I might actually end up doing some more beach combing while I'm here. But I don't think it quite picks up on camera how steep it is going from up here down to the actual shores of the river. But I would not want to be falling down there. It wouldn't be very nice. Yeah, I've not walked very far at all. And you can just make out the lower curtain wall of the castle through the trees. Of course, here's the castle itself. So that's Ravenscraig Castle there, and you can see there's a drawbridge. It takes you towards the main door of the castle itself, but I can't go that way. So I think I have to go down into the moat, which is just down to the right, and find my way in from there. Hopefully I'll be able to get in to get really good views of the Firth of Forth. So again, have a look at the information board. So this actually belonged to James II's wife, who was Mary of Guelders. But I'm going to be heading down that way. Yes, this is the sign. So I'll be going down to my right, walking along the moat, and I think just coming in from the river side of the castle, by the looks of things. So heading down this way. Yeah, do please be careful. Got a big cap of marsh right there. I didn't realise there's a slight step there. So don't make my mistake. Yeah, it's when you really get down into the moat. you realise how big a beastie this castle actually is. Okay, it's not the biggest castle in Scotland. Right, it's really nothing in comparison to Stirling or Edinburgh, but still one hell of a size. So, keep going down this way. Yeah, it's like something like Jurassic Park walking along here. Yeah, I did have to come along these wee stone cut steps, so yeah, I had to take my time on them. I would not be surprised it does look like there's a building in there. Like some sort of structure, but got to continue down this way. Just really taking my time. Yeah, getting into the castle is going to be so much easier when they reopen that bridge, because those wee stone steps were, I can imagine them being very, very slippy, especially when it's wet. And look, there's wee cells down there, just in there. You just see there's a lot of the arrow slits and the really small windows. And you just get a really nice view of the Firth of Forth over there. So I'll turn the camera around and I'll let you have a look. So that's the Firth of Forth down there. So I probably will try and get down to the beach. But right now, I'm going this way. So this is the way in at the moment, through these set of steps, which do look like they've just been put in recently. Yeah, that's me finally in Ravenscraig Castle. It might be a bit more of a hike than I was expecting to get in. And yeah, but I'm here, finally in. So I'll have to have a good look around and try and see what I can show you. It does look like a lot of the buildings, that part of the keep and that bit there might be all locked off and out of bounds. And it does sound like there's a lot of nesting birds in the remains of the keep. But I'll try and see what I can find and try and see what I can show you. Again, should have really good views of the Firth of Forth. I can at least show you around what I can show you around. So that would have been the way in, that you normally come through. I wonder if I can get up there and try and get some good views. Also, I've got the remains of the keep there, which will also be the central part of the castle itself. But I'll go along this way first and get some of these views. And obviously, there are some of the remains of some of the other buildings round about. And I do wonder if this wee peninsula would have been wider in the past. I suspect it might have been. So obviously it's like a tray information boards. Yeah, so even though it was connected to the Stuarts, it did become the main home for the Sinclair family. So where I am just now would be in about here somewhere. And yes, we've got the West Tower, which is the main bit of the keep, and the East Tower would be in the bit that we could see bits of through the trees. So the West Tower, which is that bit in there, would be where the Great Hall would have been, and the main chambers for the head of the Sinclair family. It's actually getting quite nice now. But let's have a look at this view. Yeah, and you can see why they had the castle here. You've got such a view of this bit of the Firth of Forth that anyone who's coming and going, you can see them from here. You also can see there's a couple of tankers out there. So in that direction over there would be the Lothians and Edinburgh. Don't think I can quite see them from here. And that's the main town of Kirkcaldy over there. And if you were coming to the castle, as well as parking at the Ravenscraig Park, you can also park down there, right next to the beach. And there's a set of steps that go up in that direction, which will take you right to the castle. Yeah, so this would be the way you'd normally come in. You come through this gatehouse and to this area here. So let's have a look up here, see what's going on. I've probably got a couple of guards. Well, I think it might only be the one guard room. Oh, it's quite dark in there. I'll try to see if I get my torch out. Yeah, it seems to be lighting things up okay. So you can see there's the window over there. There's a fireplace. And a wee ducat there. Yeah, that's a bit of a pet peeve. Can people just stop friggin' littering, please? And yeah, just something I really cannot bite at all. But this would have been the guard room. Obviously, with the window there, I think we could probably keep an eye out for things. And with the door, they could keep an eye on who's coming actually into the castle itself. Yeah, I'm trying to see if there's a way up to that bit up there, but doesn't seem to be. Around here, it's just the edge of the castle. Also, there's like no way through the main gateway. This bit's locked as well, and that's just leading to a wee courtyard. I don't know if maybe you'd have to be able to get into the actual keep itself and find a way up from there, but that's all locked off just now. So even though you've got access to this bit of the castle, it looks like the actual main structure itself is still out of bounds just now. Yeah, so it does seem to be that a lot of the Historic Scotland sites that were closed for maintenance and conservation are slowly starting to open up now. But it's kind of a kind of gradual process. A lot of these sites, they seem to be opening the sites part by part. And they'll open certain areas of the sites, but still have other bits closed off, and then open those bits later on. So again, really interesting site, really interesting location, and yeah, and even though I wasn't able to get into the actual structure itself, it's still a nice wee place to come and visit. Well, that's it back at the car now. I had a good little wander around the castle itself, and even though the actual main part of the building wasn't open, it's still a really interesting place to go and visit and explore and have a good nosy around. And just getting the chance as well to kind of get the view that you get from the castle. Definitely puts things into perspective and actually does allow you to understand why the castle was there. Because again, it's such a great view across the Firth of Forth. And yeah, it's a really beautiful spot. you do, if you are going and the bridge is closed and you have to go like through the moat and up the steps, just be careful. Definitely wear sensible shoes, and it might be an idea to bring some walking poles with you just to give yourselves a wee bit extra balance. But definitely one spot that I would recommend coming and visiting. And yeah, and it's again something that's just full of history and just a really interesting spot to go and explore. So hopefully you'll have enjoyed this video, hopefully you'll have found it interesting, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye bye.